Smiles from Black for Me TV. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. So let's get this thing going. Obviously, you put this film together. Where did inspiration come from, Tayarisha?
Just being a person, like being a wife, being a woman, and watching women, countless women that I've known and loved in my life be sort of flattened by the rest of the world with the labels that have been placed upon them, and not wanting to participate in that.
Okay. It's kind of broad, but we'll go with that. You know,
I mean,
you know,
broad and
it's,
specific at the
it's like a
same time.
non-answer answer. Okay, let's just go with that. Kiersey, obviously, is this something you auditioned for, or did she came to you and say, "I want you to be in this movie"?
I don't know why I hate having to answer those questions. No, I didn't audition. I'm just that girl. I'm just that girl.
Number one.
It's one of those things where, I mean, Tayarisha had seen me in other things, and I think also that is the audition, to be completely honest. So all of the things that I've done before this, I always see it as that kind of, like, it's not just about the role and that job that I've gotten, but I mean, I'm a part of Hollywood. That's really crazy that I get that opportunity. So you would hope that if someone sees you in something that's in theaters and you're on billboards, that means you get to do the young wife, or you get to do the off-Broadway play, the good stuff. So when this came my way, I was actually filming The Flash, and I was just having these thoughts of, oh my God, like, is this what I do now? Am I going to do superhero movies and like rom-coms? Someone help me. Like, I'm so scared. How am I going to Matthew McConaughey this?
Lose the weight, smoke some crack.
Yeah. Well, hey, green light. Like, I really felt like it just happens as an actor, especially it was just 2020, and now it's post-strike, so I also am asking like the same questions. It just happens as an actor, and so this couldn't have come at a better time in terms of me relating to Celestina, and being really excited to. It was just a dream. I don't know everything about this movie and my involvement in it. I feel like really aligned, and even my connection with the rest of the cast. And reading the script, I immediately imagined Judith playing Cookie. So when Tayarisha told me that, I was like, I think I said, like, I knew that. I had a feeling, I had just seen Brandon on Broadway. Like, it just felt like everything made so much sense. Yeah.
Got a lot of cast in this movie, and there's a lot of speaking parts, and some of it is kind of like kinetic, so quick, in terms of like, it's almost like singing a song. Like, I can't say it that fast, Talk to me about putting this script together, and you're like, and then creating this dialogue all in one setting.
Yeah, I really, my first feature was very, like, a lot of stuff was happening across like a whole school year, and all these places, all these people, all this time, like whatever. And I just was drawn to the idea of telling one story over the course of one day. And so I was drawn to that. But I also just love ensembles. I love the kinetic nature of conversation and people talking over each other and cutting each other off, and like how vibrant that feels, and it can feel in a group setting. So I'm really drawn to that. And I think that when you're writing something like that, for me at least, I kind of feel like the dialogue does sort of feel like music. It can, at least for me, it feels like music, and it feels like people are kind of singing without singing. And that's how a good conversation that you're overhearing sounds. Like, it sounds like a song, and they all have a part, and they all know their parts, and they're all just so on tune and so on beat, and it's just flowing. Like, that's just like, that sounds like a song. And so we definitely wanted to play that up in this movie with all of this talking.
I always tell actors, or I always ask actors, when they take on a role, at what point do you see in the script, if not, or when you're already playing it, do you feel the character is a little bit of you, or vice versa? Is there anything in their trait that you can relate with that says, okay, I am so like this? That's a question for Kiersey. when
Oh,
you're
me.
playing Celestina,
Oh,
is
I
there
thought you were
anything
talking about
about her
Tayarisha.
that's you?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I relate to Celestina so much. Which I I think we're very similar. I think that there's always something in me that relates to whatever part that I'm playing. I have to find it to be empathetic. Even if they're the worst person that you've ever met, it's like, how does one validate the awful things that they're doing? Like, what's the worst thing I've ever done to someone, and how did I justify that? You know? And yeah, I really related to Celestina. I think that a lot of people who don't know me actually would be confused by that. But she definitely feels like the inside of my mind and the way that I feel in the world with all of the people and pressures and but also at the same time feeling she's very confident and is just trying to get everyone else on the same page as her, to be honest,
Isn't that how we all are? Like you're right, but then you always want to make sure everybody else is like, okay, are they getting me?
Yes.
Do we, we always feel depending on who you're talking to, whether you have to go down or go up, because
Yeah.
whether I think they're on the same level or not.
Yeah.
And so Tayarisha, so what is the difference, obviously, between what did you learn from your first film to help you make this one, skill set wise? Was it as a writer or as a director?
What did I learn most between the first and the second? I definitely knew that I knew that there were going to be some things that I wrote and that I was directing that people just wouldn't. There's some stuff that you just have to people just have to trust you, and that's okay. Like, that it's going to work out, it's going to come together, that all of these elements that, because we're looking at it, in the present tense in front of the camera, it maybe doesn't make sense. You got to just trust me. And so I think that part of being a director is having that confidence in the ideas. And so I definitely gained a lot of confidence from my first feature to my second, because I knew, yeah, it may not make sense yet, but I know that it will, because I've done this before. Like, I know how to make this, I know how to make this work with these elements. As long as we get these elements, we're good. So having that confidence and being able to use that confidence to guide such a large cast through such a quick shoot and in such a tiny location helped.
Had you taken notes based off the whatever reception you got from the first film that you and your team went over, like whether or not you're going to take less days to shoot, or read any reviews and say, okay, when people, whether you got positive or negative, feedback, you took that into account as you were making this, because time went by and obviously you grow and you learn.
No, I didn't really care. Like, I feel like even now that the movie is coming out, it's like the process of making the thing is like that's the process of making art, making the thing, coming together with all these people, like putting on a show together, filming it. Like, we did it, it's done, we did it, I'm very proud of us, it's done. And in the process of the thing coming out, it's like it's its own thing. So I feel like as the film is now coming out, the same with my first one, I'm an audience member. Like, I'm just a person who's excited to watch this movie because I love film and I love movies. I love colors on screen with cool looking people and interesting sounds all together. So I am not really attached to the reception of my films, because I, as an audience member, like what I'm seeing. Yeah. And as an artist, I'm really satisfied with the process of making it.
Confidence as a be. For you, Kiersey, obviously, I've seen a lot of your films, lead roles, which is great. So when you're working on this one, and it's a big ensemble, but you're still the main one who has the most dialogue, is it ever a challenge, or is it more like, okay, it's a new group of people, I'm just going to go with the flow, I just got to throw in different layers of emotions as I play this character with different people per scene?
To be honest, in terms of working with like a bigger group of people or whatever. I don't know if it's because I'm like the oldest sibling or something, but it just comes naturally to me
That
to,
definitely helps.
yeah, to lead everybody and create morale. And also, you know, I've witnessed so many amazing people that I've gotten to work with and witnessed how they interact with everyone on set and how they, you know, when you're, you know, sometimes as an actor, you're standing back and you're watching everyone who has tunnel vision and you're going, I know the solution right now. Like I have the solution. But it's difficult when you're in it. And I relate to that as an actor. It's like an acting coach. They're like, I know what you need to do right now, but you're so here. And so I feel like I've just started, I just say it. I just say, hi, I have the solution. Because if I have it, what are you going to do? You're going to be mad at me? I stepped on your toes. No, I didn't. I solved the problem. You can deal with that. You can take that home, you know?
So
And
nice when somebody solves the problem. Yeah, it feels awesome.
and in terms of the cast, I just really dig in, jump in. I think that anyone I've worked with would say that. I immediately am like, let's get dinner, let's all get together, let's meet up. Because at the end of the day, even if you don't necessarily, like, you wouldn't be friends with that person outside of this, we're working together. And I don't have to be your best friend, but I can appreciate who you are, and I can, you know, you got to know your expectations for people. And all you have to do is sit down and have lunch and you understand their boundaries. Or maybe their refusal for lunch tells you enough.
Yeah.
And now you can go about your day and you can respect them. They can respect your space. And you can also be prepared. Preparation is everything. And I handle that later if I got beef with somebody. Yeah. As soon as we wrap,
Different story after wrap.
different story. We're not coworkers anymore.
Yeah, different story.
And I think everybody's also afraid of what I would say in press. I'm so serious.
I'm gonna have to go back and say, okay, let's see how Kiersey really feels. You know, but when you look at this cast, and I'm seeing Judith, like I'm seeing Sheryl, Ralph, I'm seeing Brandon. I'm like, okay. When people look at those casts, I was like, what has she done before? Was there anybody that you really wanted that you got for this project? You know, because you know it's a good thing when you see these names because it's like there's something there that she was able to attract this cast for her film.
Are you asking me?
I'm talking to Tayarisha.
You're asking me?
Like
yeah.
Like
in
how
terms of their casting, you know, like you got some names in here as opposed to like a bunch of old newcomers and Kiersey's the one strong point, but like no, you're like, okay, Judith comes in and does her thing, and so does Sheryl.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, it's like the thing about an ensemble is you are very much like everybody's playing such a like a small part, but such an important part in the whole orchestra. So you're very aware of, you're not just like casting this person because they will be great for that single role, but like I'm casting this person because with them in this role, they're going to play really nicely with this other person in this role who will play really well in this role, and this trio is going to feel so good against this other trio that's being built by casting these. So it's like, it's just like, I love that. I love that. And so everybody was chosen very specifically because of them. Like Connor, who plays Joffrey, like I have wanted to work with him since seeing him in Gossip Girl when I was a teenager. Like when I was literally a kid, I was like, that guy knows what's up. Like he's killing it. Like, so he's been like, I got to figure out a way to get him into something. He's just so great. Connor is a brilliant ensemble member. He's so good at it. I like, you could throw him in the background of a scene, he'll be all the way back against the wall and your eye just goes to him, and then it'll give you just like this juicy little morsel of something hilarious. It's amazing. So like all of these people, I've seen all of their work and I'm obsessed with all of them. Lukita, I saw them in Generation, that show on HBO Max or whatever. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta figure out how to work with this kid. Like whatever, like they've got going on, and like they're just doing it, they're killing it. It's just like I don't know. You have like this running list of actors who you see them, and you just feel yourself falling into the TV or the movies, like the theater screen, whatever, you feel yourself falling forward. And then I feel like my job as a person, as a director, is to just for the rest of my life, try to work with all of them. That's all I do, is try to write stuff for all of them.
You got it done. Job well done. So congrats on the movie. Congrats on the performance. Keep it going. Just keep making stories. We want to see you keep doing more so we can always be out there. I always say, hey, you guys working gives me work. You know, so long as we bring that synergy,
Love that.
you know,
Let's
we're going to
keep
be
it going.
around.
Yes.
That's how it goes. So wherever you guys are at,
you.
take care. Stay safe.
Appreciate it.
You.